So I will show you the plain dart exercise. I already did transfer the information from the paper to fabric by using the tracing paper and tracing wheel on both sides. This is called the plain dart and it is triangular in shape. It helps us contour or form fit the plain fabric, the 2D, into 3D by kind of taking in the excess fabric around hills or the topography of the body. The way you start is by pinning, and any plain dart is triangular in shape, so it has a dart tip, and these two sides over here, or these two lines, are called the dart legs. So when you pin, you pinch the fabric at the dart tip, and that will be your first pin. Okay, and your second pin will be at the dart, the kind of the wider end of the dart legs. So in this case, I'll come from one side and I'll go to the beginning of the dart leg of the other side, and that will be my second pin. Okay, and the fabric in between, you can crease it by hand, and you can also pin the line in between and make sure that your pin is piercing the lines on both sides. Right now I prepared and pinned the dart for sewing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going also to pin the other side. So again, here is the dart tip. So I will pinch the fabric at the dart tip and I will put my first pin. Okay, and then I will pin the dart, the kind of intersection between the dart leg and the seam line. So I will pin this side to this side. Okay, and this is my second pin, and I can actually crease the fabric in between and pin somewhere in the middle, and make sure that your pin is passing through both lines. Okay, now my sample is ready to sew. It is a permanent stitch, so I will be sewing a few stitches, back stitch, and then forward stitch. What I'm doing right now is I'm aligning the line with the needle, so I'm going in a straight line and basically my line needs to end at the tip where I placed my first pin. I'm removing my pins as I go, and I am aiming the needle at the exit point, which is the dart tip. When we get to the end, or when we get to the dart tip, we don't backstitch. What you need to do is you will raise your needle and then you will pull your thread, cut say 3-inch tail, and what I'm going to do is I am going to remove my pin, inspect my sewing, okay, and I'll use the tail, and I will hand knot the tail. So you can hand knot in two different directions so that it locks that last stitch and prevent it from coming undone. Okay, so here is the knot, and then I can trim, can leave like a quarter of an inch or something, and then I'll trim the other side. So this is one side. I'll do the same thing with the other side. Alright, so I'll take few stitches, back stitch, and then forward stitch, aiming, aligning my line with the needle and aiming at the exit pin, the dart tip pin. Here is my last stitch. I'll raise my needle, pull, leave 3 inches and knot. Inspect your sewing on both sides. My sewing line is on my traced lines. Okay. In some fabrics, if we don't have that much control over the fabric, you can baste the dart in place, and then you can sew with the machine right next to your basting line on the traced line. Okay, so here is the sample done, and as you can see, the darts make the two-dimensional. So before I had the dart, the piece of fabric was a flat piece of fabric. Once I had the dart sewn, you can see that the piece of fabric changed into a dome shape. Think about that in somewhere around like the bust or something like that. So the bust dart is usually a triangular or a plain dart, and it helps the fabric form to the bust mount. The next thing I want to show you is how to press the dart. So the way we press the dart is we press the dart axis down. For a horizontal dart, you will press the dart axis towards the floor. If you think about so if I'm holding it like this, the dart axis goes down for horizontal darts, okay? For vertical darts, it goes towards the center line, either center front or center back. But this is similar to a side bust dart. So in this case, I will press it with the dart axis towards going down, and I am using a pressing tool. This is called the tailor's ham, and it helps us kind of form the fabric in a kind of dome-shaped way. All right. So I am aiming the dart tip on the side so that I can flatten the piece of fabric on top of the tailor's hem, and I will use the iron to press the fabric down. Okay, so I'm just pressing, and at the tip I can smooth the tip as much as I can. Okay, so this is how it looks when it's done. Alright, and it kind of helps, again, it helps smooth the curve. If you compare this side that was pressed with this side, you will find that this side is more kind of angular. This side is smoother, so I'll do the same thing with this side. Also, I need my tip to be somewhere towards the end of the hem, and I am moving the fabric and smoothing the fabric with my hand, and then I will use the iron to press the fabric in place and smooth everything. Okay, and here is the end result. So again, this is the plain dart or the triangular dart. Alright, so you will trace the information. You don't need to do tailor text because we trace the information so we can identify with where the tip is and where the dart legs are. We have the landmarks that we need to use to sew the dart. And then you just start by backstitching on the wider side, and then you will aim towards the tip, and once you get to the tip you will raise your needle, pull your sample and cut at least 3-inch tail so that you can knot it, and that will help you once you knot the dart and trim the excess fabric. And then the last step will be pressing the fabric. Okay, so this is again the plain dart, and I'll see you on the next one.